everyone, how are you doing? I hope you guys are having a great Friday, wherever you are in the world. As I said the last time, we're changing music, so I love this. This is called Know Thyself. It's like, ooh, I like this. And the artist who created this is called Patrick Patricios. So thank you, Patrick, for creating this beautiful music that we can use as our new opening music. So I hope you guys like it. Anyway, that's the 2 cents. This is Metal. Hope you're having a fantastic time with our as we are a channel that's supposed to be Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Lady Lily, Mama Doria, Pula Guide, the whole mixed community. All of us here at Sussex Squad. Oh, I think I forgot Mamma Mia. Yeah, Mamma Mia as well. But anyway, as I fade out our brand new music, I love this music, so you can tell me what you think. I hope you like it. And if you don't, I'm just going to get you. So I'm just kidding. But anyways, welcome. Again, I hope. Oh, my fade just kind of went really bad there at the end. Okay, let's just get that music out. Yes. Anyways, yes, I hope you guys have had a fantastic day. I was having such a great day, and at the end I went off to the tennis court to play some tennis and pulled something in the back of my leg, and then I had to hobble home. I was so upset because for forever, like I meant to re-grip my racket and I didn't, and like a whole 2 years passed and I didn't play, and then I was like finally excited, got some new grips, and then played a couple days ago, and then I played again today. Well, at least played. And then I pulled something in the back of my leg, and I was just like right under my booty, and I was like so upset. I was so excited to be, my goal is to be doing that every day. And now I have to take a couple of days. One of my friends is like, no, you need to rest it, so I have to take a couple of days and rest up my leg. And it's like, oh, but anyway, that is how my day was. My other parts of my day was great. Just that part messed up my tennis. But anyways, I shall recover from that. Anyways, lots of stuff is happening in our world, in our faves world, again, coming down from the podcast and then the interview and the pictures and all of those wonderful things. And of course, there's drama. Whenever Meghan speaks, there is drama. And, it's just wild. I mean, Meghan says boo and everybody's like, ah, It's just like let the girl breathe, please. Let her breathe. Let her just say words and you just shut up for a minute and just take it in and just leave her alone. Let her just be. Some people just have to say stuff. And so, but other people have been saying stuff, but really good stuff. One of the things that I love so much about the interview, is, and I'm gonna just move myself out of the way so it can, yeah, there we go. And one of the wonderful things that I loved about the interview is Meghan talking about Archie and all the wonderful children's shows he loved. And one of those is Storybots. I'd never heard of Storybots before. And so Meghan really talked it up, and Storybots were tweeting about it. Apparently, someone said, and I hadn't gone looking, apparently they had not tweeted since last year. And then all of a sudden, Meghan is talking about Storybots, and they tweeted. They're like, tapped. Is this thing on? It's been a while, but Storybots is back, and we're counting down to the premiere of our new show on November 21st. What better way to kick off the countdown down with the Duchess of Sussex rapping along? And that's right, Meghan was rapping to the Trinoceros, Trisona, whatever she was saying. Whatever that song, Trinoceros, or whatever it was called, that she was rapping to. And so she was just having a great time, rapping along to it. And that's, at the top right, you can see a little bit about them. And it turns out it's a Netflix show. And so apparently, judging from all the comments from it, that it's very, very popular. And Meghan was so right when she said it was amazing, because everyone who has been commenting under it, they rave about the show. So whatever the show is on Netflix, the kids are loving it, and Archie is also loving it. And so I am really excited. I mean, they haven't tweeted like over a year, and they're just all of a sudden they're like, tap tap tap, this is on. Let's just shout out our show that's happening on the 21st, And so I absolutely love it. And Meghan also talked about Duolingo, and that is the and I had never heard of Duolingo before, and it's this app where you get to learn whatever language you want. You can, and you get the choice like how many minutes a day that you want to spend on the app. Well, girlfriend just went and got herself a Duolingo app as well, so I'm really learning Spanish. So my first lesson was El Nino, or was it Los Niños? I forgot. I think I gotta go back to my lesson one. You can dedicate like, a few minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour or how many hours you want, that you can set it up, and you get to do these little quizzes and stuff like that, and you get to learn whatever language. So she's learning French, and so shout out to Duolingo. And Duolingo tweeted about it. They just put the crowns like queen. Yes. It's so fantastic. Again, I had never heard of Duolingo before. Meghan is tuning us into so many wonderful things. I was like, wow. So yes, I will be speaking Spanish hopefully soon. Shame on me, because my grandfather is half, he's from Venezuela. And so, I mean, he died before I was born and all of that stuff, but I never did pick that up. And so, well, I actually tried to do it in school. It was so boring. I was like, oh no. It had nothing to do with the language. Just the lesson plan, I guess, was just so boring that it's just like, I just couldn't deal. It was just like, never mind. And so never did learn Spanish. And so Meghan talked about, knowing, I think she did French at high school or somewhere or something like that. And then, what happens when you don't use a language, it just goes. And so that was her experience. But I remember when they came back from, in 2019, when they, when they went on that vacation to Canada, and then they came back to the UK for the first time to let people know that they were leaving. They went to Canada House, and Meghan was speaking Spanish, and Harry was kind of louding her up. Like she remembers some words. She may not be like as fluent anymore, but so she apparently is learning French on Duolingo. So if you want to learn another language, please jump on there. You can learn any language. So very exciting. And thank you, Meghan, for turning me on to Duolingo. And again, it's a free app. There's obviously an upgraded version that you can get as well, but I'm sticking to the free one so far. So anyways, that is very, very exciting. And the Variety article, as we know, it was supposed to be for that, the Power Women breakfast lunch event that they had, that Meghan was supposed to be a part of, and obviously she couldn't be, so it was delayed. And so these two people, I think they were the ones that were hosting it. They did a whole interview and sort of like an episode of it today. So today, at least I saw the video today. I don't know when they did it, but I saw the video today. Elizabeth Wagmeister and Clayton Davis, and they were talking, about it. That the post says, this is the first time a royal has graced our cover, Variety. It was interesting to watch it unfold before our eyes. It's potentially one of our biggest covers in history. And obviously this came out a few days ago. It's still the #1 article on their website. They've been promoting this all over the place on Twitter, which is something I really want Spotify to do. They're not they post a little bit about it. Obviously they have a lot of podcasts that they're, have to promote, but I kind of wish they were like Variety. Variety is all I mean, they're all up on this. And so they have been promoting this cover and article so much. So again, it's number one. And but Clayton was saying, what, it was just really amazing to be there and watch the whole, like the shoot and all of that stuff come together. And he was talking about how different the spaces are. For example, on Twitter or on social media, there's all this hate and division. Like some people, like he was saying, some people absolutely love her and some people absolutely just hate her. And so he was saying, from what he saw and just being around, ooh, I just kicked over my bottle. You probably hear the sound of it. I had my water bottle right by my foot and I just like kicked it over. But he was saying that, just being in with her and watching her, watching who she is and watching it all unfold, and I guess getting to know her and stuff. He's like, yeah, she'll come out victorious in the end of all this. She really wants to be championing young girls, and he's like, yeah, she'll definitely be someone who comes out ahead in spite of all of the negative press or negative social media posts and all of those things. So it was really interesting. I'm going to post it in our show notes, the video, so that way you can hear it as well. And Access Hollywood, it seems like a couple of these entertainment outlets in Hollywood, every single person they talk to who've had any vague connection in any way to the Sussexes, they ask them about it. It's just like, oh my goodness, are you gonna do this for every celebrity? But thank you, Fate Greater Than Fear, Magali D. Matthias is her handle, and she tweeted about this. She's like, Jennifer Coolidge reacted to Meghan and Harry watching White Lotus. I really like that. At least Jennifer Coolidge was saying, I really like that. I'm very excited because sometimes you do a show and you're like, I don't know who's watching this. Whatever my future husband, but I'll take Harry and Meghan. That's pretty great news. Yes. And there's a video as well, and so I'll post both of those of her just really touched that Harriet and Meghan watch her show, because when the interview she was asked what their favorite show is, and she said White Lotus. And it's so funny, when she said White Lotus, I literally couldn't understand what she was saying. But then, someone mentioned it, and then I went back and watched it, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's White Lotus. And so that's why Access Hollywood, Jennifer Coolidge is in White Lotus, and so she is very touched that Harry and Meghan, that's one of the show, because Meghan was talking about, just really watching thing with really high quality writing and storytelling and stuff like that. And apparently White Lotus is. So I have not seen White Lotus, or The White Lotus. I have not seen it. So, I'll take Meghan's word for it, and maybe one day I'll see it. So yeah, moving on. One of the things that it's so funny. Like I was saying in the beginning, whenever Meghan says anything, it's like the world's like, it's like they cannot let this girl speak and breathe and them just, do whatever. No, they always have to come up with some way to dispel what she says, or, contradict what she says, or just basically call her an outright liar. It's always something. And so, so with the episode on Tuesday, when she did the episode, one of the girls, and I'm sure you guys have heard the story, that one of the girls, Claudia Jordan or something like that is her name. You know what? Actually, I'm not even saying her name. I don't want to give her any clout, but she's been clout chasing her way through everything. And so she was apparently one of the girls on the show. And it's so funny. There's a video of her in 2017 saying the same thing that Meghan was saying. Her thing is that she didn't find it was a problem, but what Meghan described the show as is exactly what Cardi was saying. Let's not say her name. But anyway, so she had made a statement that she felt it was unfair because they were never treated as bimbos. And but when she said that, she had not listened to the episode. She just, I guess, got that from the tabloid, whatever the tabloid said about it, but she did not watch the show or listen to the show. And so obviously, so one of the things, as we know, The View picked it up. And it's really interesting as I, went back. At first, I was just so irritated. I started watching it. I was like, Whoopi, just stop. I think the thing with Whoopi is like, she knows better. She knows this world. She's been in Hollywood so what Meghan described, she knows very well. And it's just like, she's just being deliberately obtuse. It's just like, it really irritates me when women who know better and they are supposed to be in a position where they can guide younger actress, and then they pull something like what Whoopi did, and it's really, really aggravating. It's kind of like, I got mine, so I don't care what happens to the other people who are coming up or how they may be treated. And it was just this snarky attitude that it's really, really grated me about Whoopi. And it's almost like, at least even she was basically really invalidating Meghan saying, and again, the whole thing was about Meghan talk. She didn't say the show treated her badly per se. It's just like, it is how she felt. She talked about how she felt, and especially the only person that really, that affected was that lady who said, suck it in, Markle, suck it in, and how it made her feel. And and even talking about the women, she talked about how smart and educated they were, and you know what I mean? So it was just like, so for Whoopi to just be basically invalidate her feelings, and yes, two people can be on the same show as Meghan and that girl and have completely different experiences. That happen every single day of our life. Two people could be standing in, my roommate could walk into this room and we're sitting here and we have two completely different experiences. It happens. And so to basically just sort of, have the attitude of, oh, well, she knew what she was getting into. She took the job. She just had, she gets into character and opening a briefcase. And that's the thing people don't realize with this game show. This is not an acting job. This is Meghan as herself presenting using her own name. This is not, she doesn't have a character to hide behind. And so people, for some reason, I don't seem to understand the difference, and what I've seen, like, online, people were posting all these photos of Meghan in various stages of, whether it's a lingerie or having a moment with a guy in a car, and, or whatever she was doing on Suits and other shows, as proof, oh, Meghan is being hypocritical. I'm like, no. There's a very big difference. On Deal or No Deal, she wasn't in character. This is just Meghan. They used her name. They wasn't using a fake name. She wasn't hiding behind a character. This is her and her personality and all of her. She had nothing to hide behind. Whatever she's doing on a show, whether it's a show, a movie, whatever, no matter what state of dress she's in, or whatever she's doing in, say, a sexual manner or whatever, she's in character. It's a big difference. She has something to hide behind, and it's not her name. It's not her personality. It's not, she take on that personality of someone else, and she can hide behind that. So none of those pictures invalidates anything she says. And it's just this, for some reason, people seem to not understand the difference between real life and acting, And again, Whoopi with her nonsense of, oh, we get into character and we put on a big nose or whatever. Yeah, well, I mean, if you put on a big nose and you're, and you're a clown and, you call yourself, I don't know, whatever the clown, yeah, you're in character of a clown. On this show, Meghan is using her own name. She's using it's her. There is no character to hide behind. And so, and the thing about it is Whoopi is the actor on this set. And so she knows this. And so for her to just be like, oh, basically like she knew what she was getting. And even to go so far as to say that Meghan is making the other women feel bad. It's just like, are you serious? the whole point, and again, the big thing that I got out of this whole thing with The View, again, the show, is The View that it's this round table. If you don't know what it is, it's in the US. It's this round table with about 4 or 5 women. And I was, able a couple of years ago, I think, 2.5 years ago, maybe, actually was was able to go on set and listen to a taping or watch the taping. Let's just say I wouldn't go back. And it's not about the show. It's just like, it's tedious, it's long, and by the end of it, you're like, can I just go home? And so it's, nothing to do with the show, but it's just, but just saying, just in case you want to know what it is. And it's taped in front of a live audience. So the audience, you hear the audience response and all of that stuff. But the one thing, the overriding thing I got about this whole episode and talking about Meghan is not one of these people actually listened to the episode. They got a clip and the soundbite from, the soundbite, they got a clip and talking points. None of them seem like they actually listened to this episode at all. Because, the whole point of it is that, with these tropes, especially say the bimbo trope, people try to marginalize you and put you in a box, and the only thing you are is this quote unquote bimbo person, or this, blonde, how they associate that with being a bimbo and all of those things. But it's like they didn't listen to the episode, and it was very clear. And Meghan, the whole episode was about, really about not boxing people into, like, we're not one-dimensional people. That it's okay to be multifaceted, that we're all, we're many things. We're not just one thing. And it's okay to be beautiful. And, I don't aspire to the sexy thing, but it's okay to that. But it's also okay to be the brainy one. You can be both. And that's the point of the whole episode, the point of the whole series of Archetypes, is breaking out of those stereotypes and getting rid of those stereotypes that box women into one thing, i.e., say, Paris Hilton. What's very interesting in all of this is, and I'll talk about it in a second, but Paris Hilton, nobody's talking about Paris Hilton. It's all about Meghan. And they've taken this little soundbite of about a minute of a 50-minute or 50-something minute podcast. And all of the talk has been about that minute. And yet you have over like 45 minutes of podcast that nobody's talking about. Nobody's addressing and really calling out that trope. People, it's been very interesting to see people defending it. They so want to defend that. And it's like, if I call, it's very interesting watching people defend it and then attacking Meghan for calling it out, and even more attacking her for sharing her feelings about what, how she felt. And just because she shared her feelings, it's like, oh, you're attacking the other women because you share your feelings. It's like, no, she's allowed to share her feelings, and other people are allowed to be on the show and have a completely different experience to her. All of it is valid. And there's this thing where every single time this girl shares her feelings, oh, she's attacking. And it's racist. It's that, angry Black woman trope that they have put on her. So every time she speaks, she's attacking. Everything she says, she's attacking. Oh, she's not attacking right now. Oh, one of the things they're talking about, especially those in Shutter Island, is like, oh, it was different to see her in this article not attacking. And it's so racist. It is so incredibly racist. And it just, I'm telling you. And the thing about it, I've talked about it here before, is the reason why I blocked ABC. The View is on ABC. It's an ABC show. Blocked ABC and NBC is for this very thing. It's like, they have a vested interest in the monarchy. They have been selling the monarchy. They're the same ones that their higher ups pulled all that information about Prince Andrew and threatened, when the palace threatened to sue, threatened to take away any access they have to interviewing William and Kate, and their lawyers threatened ABC, and they pulled all that stuff. They had all that stuff on Andrew and Clinton and everything with Jeffrey Epstein, and they pulled it. This is the same one. They're the same ones who hired Robert Jobson, the same one who hired, all these British reporters. They're the same ones. And so don't be surprised that every single Tuesday you get something negative out of this crew. Don't be surprised. And one of the things that's happened is that I went through their Twitter feed, and just to see the kind of engagement, because when you have this kind of negativity towards Meghan, all of a sudden you get inundated with likes. All the trolls come and camp under your website with all the things that they're saying about Meghan. And their page and their post on this is no different. And so one of the things that's very interesting that I went on their site, and I'm going to just get myself out of the way there, and I'm going to remove our scrolling banner. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video, the rest of the stuff. And like and share this video. Absolutely. So I'm going to remove it, and so we can see the bottom. And as you can see, I highlighted to the kind of engagement that they have. If you look at the top, they have close to 1 million followers. They have 904.9 thousand followers on Twitter. But look at the engagement they have for each post. And I only did for today. But if you go through their Twitter feed, this is pretty much what they get. A few times they get to 100 and something, even less times they get to 200. On the rare time, I think it was Sunny's birthday. Sunny's one of the girls on The View, her birthday, and they got up to like 400 and something, likes. But generally, it's usually hovers around this or the hundreds, and sometimes it gets to above this, close to 200. This is about it. I mean, today, look at their post that they had today. 24 likes, 8 retweets, 8 replies. The post at the bottom, 136 likes, 28 retweets, 6 replies. The one with Amy Klobuchar at the top right, 44 likes, 10 retweets, 18 replies. The one with Whoopi at the bottom, 26 likes, 6 retweets, and 13 replies. That's, and again, I just pulled in 4 of their posts, and the one actually at the bottom, it has a little bit more. It's 36 likes, 9 replies, and 134 replies. That's kind of where they are with their engagement. And you think, wait a minute, you have almost 1 million followers, and this is all you got? These are all the engagement you get. And this is the pattern straight through. I was going through, just looking and see the kind of engagement that they have for their posts on Twitter. And look at what they got with Meghan. I hope you can see that. Yeah, look at what they got with Meghan. They have 144 retweets, 66 quotes, and 1,169 likes. Compare that to what we just saw with in the 20s and 30s, and one of them just barely got over 100 and something. Look at the kind of engagement they got for just this post from of Meghan. So they now know that whenever they post about Meghan and say something negative, they should expect this kind of thing and more. And it's like, that's the thing with a lot of people. A lot of, I saw, the girl from the show who responded and said she felt differently and whatever, completely cloud chasing. Now, all of these articles have picked up. I mean, she deleted her post because people went after her, and so now she has talked to all of these tabloids like TMZ and stuff like that, and retweeting. And I think people have figured out that she's just cloud chasing and just sort of stayed away from her. But she got her reward. She got all of these articles writing about her. Nobody has heard of her before, and all of a sudden, people are talking about her on TV. They've linked her now to Meghan, her name to Meghan, so she can cloud chase that all she wants. I saw today another reporter doing the same thing. Oh, I used to support Meghan, but I can't anymore. And when you write that on Twitter, all of a sudden, all the trolls come and descend and love you and give you the clicks and the likes you want. And so it's really, really sick. But, again, coming back to The View, they now know when they do this, they can and they will get hits for it. And so expect this. And this is the reason I blocked them. And it's very interesting too, because, apart from The View, two other shows had really constructive conversations about about the episode, and which was really great. Especially the best one really was the one on CNN, where all of these ladies, and it's a multicultural group of ladies, were talking, and they really agreed actually and understood where Meghan was coming from, because they talked about different things that happened to them and their experience with it. And one of the girls, I think it was the girl in the tan top, I think, was it her or the one in the, I think it's actually the girl in the next to the lady in red, with the blonde lady in red, who talked about feeling objectified in either Congress or the Senate or something like that. She felt that, and so they understood where she was coming from, and it was really, really great. And so one of the squaddies posted this, as she said, this was a professional conversation with professional women who understood exactly where Meghan was coming from, unlike Whoopi with her shady self. And and I'm going to put a link to this so you can watch it. Very, 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 really very, very intelligent conversation, and really addressing those issues, and that it transcends the say game show or television or anything like that. It transcends. I mean, it goes into, one of them it's talking about in either the Senate or the Congress. It goes into boardrooms and all of these things, the same kind of behavior. And so it was really great. Also, Sherry Shepherd, I learned Sherry Shepherd has a new show. Who knew? Didn't know. And so these four ladies talked about it as well. I am not sure per se if they listened to the episode, but it was a really good day. It spoke about this, just the state on this specific topic with, the few minutes of Meghan talking about her experience. And they too understood. They validated the cloud chasing girl. They validated her experience, and they also validated Meghan's experience. So it was a very, very balanced conversation of people who tried to understand both sides and did not invalidate anybody's feelings about this situation. And so it was a really good conversation. And, the funny thing about this is, I saw this from Julia Troubleshade. She says, so people who have been using Meghan's deal or no deal pictures to mock and slut shame her for the past 6 years are now angry. She called the show for what it was. And this is so true. And I saw it, I'm like, yes. If you look at, especially when Meghan just started dating Harry, they would use that red, that picture with her in the red sort of lingerie kind of outfit with the briefcase all the time, basically to slut shame Meghan, and called her exactly this, a bimbo, and all of these stuff. They use that picture over and over and over. And now that she is talking about it and how she feels about it, those people now are angry at her and now are pulling up all these other pictures like, oh no, look at 2 years after she did that, she was doing, she was doing this stuff in this with this guy in a car. She was wearing lingerie and suits. And again, people cannot differentiate for some reason when people real life and what television is, that it's not real, that she's playing a character. And what I feel like is including a lot of women, especially a lot of women who do not have the kind of, whether it's looks, whether it's money, whether it's power, attention, whatever that somebody like Paris has, like somebody like Meghan has, I always talk about, say, the Kardashians, whatever. One of the things that I've noticed with women who don't have that kind of, they're not blessed with any of these things. The beauty, the beauty, the clothes, the money, the guy, whatever it is. Women who don't have these things, the one thing that a lot of them have, and especially if the person that they're feeling this way towards have played into that or have done something that would make them think this, it's almost like they feel like that trope, that stereotype of the bimbo is their sword. And it's the only thing they have that they can either threaten or they can throw at these women that look like this to make themselves feel better. They can use that bimbo trope against them, bring them down, put them in their place so that they're miserable. They can feel better about their miserable lives because that brings them down. It keeps them in their place. It puts them in a box. So anytime they go beyond anything that, these people think, they can throw out this bimbo trope at them to shut them up, put them and label them and put them in a box. And now that Meghan has dealt with it and talk about it, for me, that's why I see all of these anger, especially from women, all of this anger, because she just took away that sword from them. She took away that rock that they were throwing at people like Paris and, say, Lindsay Lohan and, the Kardashians, to Meghan, even, because again, that red dress is what they've been using to label her as a bimbo, to label her as, pick a word in that area that to label her as. And all of a sudden her addressing it and putting a human face behind it and saying, no, I didn't like that. It did not make me feel good. It made me feel like less than, to be objectified in this way, It made me feel like less than who I am. And she put a face behind it. And when she talked to Paris and this person who the world know as this bimbo person, and yes, Paris played into that as we know from the podcast. And a lot of that was to protect herself from all the stuff she was going through. All of a sudden, when you allow Paris to share her story and people to understand the person behind that trope the person behind those daggers they were throwing at her, all of a sudden you take that out of their hand and they're angry. Because now what do they have? Paris has the beauty, the looks, the money, now they're figuring out, oh no, she has brains too? I can't throw this at her? She'll always be above me? What can I throw at her? And all of a sudden, one of the things you'll notice in all of this talk and all of this stuff is nobody talks about Paris. I even tweeted about this. I was like, is there a media blackout on Paris Hilton? Because even when they include Paris in an article, none of it is really about Paris, what Paris talked about her journey, about her abuse, about her fighting back, about her now advocating for women, for children in those positions who like her and being, again, she wants to be the hero to them, that she wished somebody was for her. She advocates to save people from these abusive schools or, boarding schools or whatever. Nobody is talking about Paris. It's almost like she wasn't there at all. She wasn't in that podcast at all. And the whole podcast was Meghan's 1 minute where she talked about her experience. And it's like that Paris, the new Paris, the Paris who has transformed herself and changed and, become the person that she is proud of, that her daughter is going to be proud of. The media don't want that. They want the dagger. They want that dagger to throw at her, that rock of the bimbo to throw at her. All of a sudden they're realizing, oh, wait, she's intelligent. She's now a business. She has all these businesses. Oh, wait, Meghan isn't a bimbo, even though I want to use that dress, her in a red dress. She's not. She's beauty, she's brain, and she's calling out what she just did was put a human person behind that label in putting her face and Paris's face there. So people all of a sudden have to deal with the fact when they throw that they're throwing it at someone who has feelings, has emotions, who has dealt with trauma of being abused. That arrow is taken out of their hands. And a lot of women and men, but I see majority women who like to use those things to make themselves be better and try, to make them pull people like Paris or Meghan, whomever down, all of a sudden that's taken out, that power, that so-called power is taken out of their hands. And they have to deal with the fact that that's what they're doing to an actual human being, that she's a person with feelings and emotions. And a person who isn't that trope, who is very different. I mean, gosh, her voice alone, and the press, they don't want that. Paris testified in Congress, and apparently they didn't really cover it. Probably a couple of outlets cover it, maybe. But they don't want that Paris. They want the bimbo. They want that caricature that she was playing. And the same with Meghan. They don't want the Meghan that speak out. And they want that dehumanized person that they could throw darts at and use as a stick to beat her, which they've done for 6 years. And all of a sudden, now they're trying to find other sticks. Oh, let's throw in all the time she was naked on Suits. Let's throw in her being in a car at 90210 with a man. I mean, all of that. They are desperately trying to find other sticks. Because all of a sudden, this one, they know this is how she felt. And even though Whoopi tried to, invalidate how she felt, it doesn't take away the facts that this is how she felt about what happened in that time. So it just is very interesting. But I just want to say I am proud of these two women. I am proud of their journey. I'm proud of, Meghan. Even there's a video for even getting to the place where even on Suits, where it just felt it felt gratuitous, always in a bathrobe. She said, the first every episode, the beginning of the episode started with Rachel in a bathrobe towel. And she said no. She had to speak to the creator and said, no, I can't do this anymore. Even to get to that place as an actor, Meghan talks about, on Suits, the first season, she spent most of the season terrified that they're going to recast the role. So she didn't have any power. She didn't have any to stand up and say, no, this might have gone too far or whatever. I can't do this, this sexy, whatever. But by the time, I guess it was the 6th season or the 7th season or whatever. By the time that came around, she was confident enough and she built up enough confidence to finally say no. And it just is really, for me, the journey that these women go through, and to see Meghan go through from, Deal or No Deal and all the other things that she tried, as an actor and as a young woman in Hollywood, sometimes you do, because you got to pay the rent, you got to pay the bills, and you take roles that you ended up not being proud of, and, and grates against who you are and your conscience and all of those things, and if these episodes, take all of that stuff away, where people rethink the culture that they make and they create for young women. So maybe by the time Lily grows up, and if she wants to be, an actress, whatever, she wouldn't have to go on a show wearing, skimpy outfits with a briefcase. She wouldn't feel like she would need that. She would have options, especially as a biracial child, that she would have options. That if that's something she chooses to do and feels great about it, by all means. But if it's not, if it's something that is grating against you and grating against who you are, then I hope by that time she gets to be an adult and gets to be, whatever, to if she wants to go into the business, that she would know she has options and not just pigeonholed into these roles that you're so terrified if you say no to, you'll never get another job. So you do it, but then it grates against who you are. So I would just say kudos to to Meghan, and also I wish Paris all the best with everything that she's doing. The transformation is amazing. And so I'm proud of both of them, so for what they're doing. So anyways, moving on from that, it's like, ooh, the crown. Anyway, Tuesday Archetypes is coming up. There is a poll in the community page. So if you have not gone and pick your whatever topic, please do. Again, it's in the community page. Please do. So we're gonna change topics for a second. We're gonna jump over to Shutter Island for a second. And we remember yesterday we talked about Dame Judi Dench sending a letter to Netflix. I think she put the letter in the Times. Letter to Netflix wanting Netflix to change their policy. Actually, it's to put a disclaimer that it's fiction, or at least partly fiction. So that went out yesterday. And so apparently Netflix did a kind of a thing with one of their disclaimers that that's been there again, apparently since 2016. That's always been there, that it's the show is basically a recreation, I guess, based on actual actual events, but some of the dialogue, obviously they're not there in private conversations with the royals, so some of it has been changed for artistic reasons, obviously. And so that's always been there. And so now they're like, oh, Netflix changed their policy. No, they didn't. They just they're now, instead of it just being on the documentary, I call it a documentary, on the series, it's now also going to be a part of the trailer, that some of it is fiction, and I forgot what else it says. But anyway, so all of that happened. And so today, this gentleman, Philip Murphy, who is the director of the history policy, so they, I guess, do, or at least collect the history for like the royal family. So he today he wrote a letter to the Times, and he said, I have a letter in the Times this morning about an old hobby horse of mine, by which I mean archives rather than the crown. So he worked on archives, all the facts about the royal family. And this is what he went on to say. He says, facts about the crown. He says, sir, he's like, sir, he's writing to the Times, sir, Dame Judi Dench worries that viewers may take the crown's version of history as wholly true, as the letters from yesterday. If they do, this will be partly the fault of the palace. It has made strenuous efforts to prevent historians from gaining access to records on the Queen's 70-year reign, in particular by obtaining an absolute exemption from the Freedom of Information Act for papers relating to the sovereign and the second and third in line to the throne. If scholars are unable to write an accurate history of the monarchy, the field will be left to dramatists and to those who with vested interest in leaking information. So he's like, look, you have been closed. You have, got an exemption. Again, they lobbied Parliament to get an exemption from the Freedom of Information Act. So people who want the actual story of what's going on in the royal family cannot get it. Why? Because they got an exemption to keep everything about them private, i.e. their will, i.e. what the Queen was about. Like, people really, they keep saying, oh, we know the Queen, and they don't know the Queen. They don't, because her whole life has been secret and she doesn't really say much of anything, or at least didn't. She's now passed on. And so he is so true. Again, he's the director of history policy, and he's like, look, if scholars are unable to write an accurate history of the monarchy, the field will be left to dramatists and to those with a vested interest in leaking information. And his thing is, look, if we can't write it, the fault is not with the people who are trying to get an accurate, report on what is actually happening in the palace. The fault is the palace, because they are secretive. They refuse to let people in. They refuse to let light in to the monarchy so people can have an accurate description. So them whining, oh, it's false, it's fake, it's their fault. It's their fault. And, like he said, if they do, if it's not wholly truth, if they do write it and it's not wholly truth, this will partly be the fault of the palace. It's their fault. They don't want the truth. They don't want people to know the truth about who they are and what they do and how they spend taxpayers' money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I appreciate him writing that. It's so true. You can't be whining about things that is not right and it's fictional if you will not allow historians or the press in to, at least legitimate press in to see what the truth is about stuff. So then stop whining. So I appreciate him saying that. Anyways, get away from Shutter Island and move on to some more positive stuff. And I think, I think that just actually deserves a change in mood, change in everything. So let's just have a little bit of a change and then we will go to some more positive things. So yeah. I absolutely, actually somebody told me they didn't like it and I was like, really? But I like it. Until I find new music, this is our change music. And my fading out still sucks, but I will get it at some point. But anyway, on to better news, Invictus news. They are doing great things. And one of the things, again, if anyone, if you are a vet, if you know a vet, please get them involved with Invictus Games. They're doing amazing things. Says Invictus Games Foundation, in partnership with British Rowing, will be holding a virtual rowing challenge from October 31st to November 6th. Participants from the international WIS community will have 7 days to complete a 5 set of challenges. And they can sign up below, as it says. I will put the link in the show notes so that your friends and family, again, if you are a vet or if you know a vet, please pass this information on to them so that they can be a part of it. And also Invictus Nigeria going strong. The Invictus Foundation tweeted about them. It says, incredible to see the Invictus spirit being fostered in Nigeria during their first endeavor. They have taken their first step on the recovery journey, and we can't wait to see more from the Nigerian Invictus team. So they are doing well. They are absolutely doing well, and they're awesome. So I am just so excited about Invictus Nigeria. So yes. So after all that, I am just so happy that, again, just to land back finally on our fave, looking absolutely fantastic and unbothered in Montecito, eating chocolate chips the size of Archie's head, and Harry has his In-N-Out burger from wherever In-N-Out burger is, halfway between Los Angeles and Santa Barbara. So anyways, I just, wishing them joy and peace and all of that wonderful stuff. And Archwell just changed their picture on their website. So I will post it in the community page so you can see Archwell's new picture. Very beautiful. I'm telling you, Miss Ann Harriman just photographs love. It comes out in his pictures and it's so effortless and I love it. So, so if you haven't already, jump over to Archwell, or just look for the link in the show notes when we're done. So anyways, I just wanted to end with our girl to just under a tree, as Megan says, sipping wine, and I don't even drink wine, but sipping wine anyway, and maybe flipping through the channels and land on nothing other than White Lotus. Whatever they're doing, I just wish them absolute joy, the joy that Megan talked about, and it just does my heart good to see that these two are happy. So good for them. So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our awesome moderators who, some might be in when I post this, some might not, but they are absolutely awesome in really keeping the channel safe and fun environment. Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen M, Julia Rock, Keys and Cream. Thank you all so much for everything that you do. I appreciate. Thank you so much to our awesome 2 Cents Crew team who supports the channel on a monthly basis. We have 2 new crew members, Kyle Elson and Helene Groen. Thank you guys so much. Well, actually, Kyle, you were here before. I think you just rejoined. So I think that's what that is. I'm like, wait a minute. I had Kyle here before. But welcome again. But again, thank you guys so much who have, out of the kindness of your heart, actually, let me take myself out of the way so that everyone can see. Here we go. Everyone can see everyone who is a part of the 2 Cents Crew. Also, thank you also all of you who supports the chat, the podcast, whether super chat, super thanks, super stickers, PayPal, Cash App, any of those things. Thank you all so much for your support. I very much appreciate it. Thank you, all our Gold Star members who support the channel, again, out of the kindness of your heart. And so let's put our banner back. So again, please subscribe. Please like our channel. We are trying to grow. It's over 5,000 now. We're trying to get to 6,000, get to 2 million views. That would be fantastic. So please share the video with your friends so that they too can become subscribers and you can join the channel and be a part of a 2 Cents Crew. That would be awesome as well. Again, we do have merchandise. I haven't really showed our merchandise in a while. So we do have merchandise. Here we are, merchandise if you'd like to. The link is in the show notes. Shop until you drop, I say. So this and more is in the shop. So definitely, we also have the art prints as well that you see in the background. Well, actually, let's just take this out. Yeah, that's the art prints and many other art prints in the background. We also, that's my dad's artwork. So that's also on sale in the same link. Just scroll, you'll see them there. Okay, so anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. When I post this again, this is not live. This is just, this is a video I'm recording on my, well, not really late night, but kind of late video. I will be posting at some point tonight. And so hopefully I will see you in the chat. I will be in the chat. So I hopefully, thank you again. Enjoy the new music that we have. Yeah, let's bring that up. There you go. Don't mind me, I'm just being silly. But anyway, guys, I love you all. Have a fantastic Friday evening, whatever you're doing, and I will see